So, you saw the title. You know what we're going to discuss. So, if anybody's curious, I'm in favor of gun control if you can find a way to make it work. Gun control, if you can pay for it. Best money you can buy. January 4th, 2021, not written on the page in ISO format. I might remind everybody that it is century, year, month, day. So saith the Linux prompt. Anyway, Sabika Shahika, Firearms Licensing and Registration Act, retroactively applies to current weapons and ammo and future. No grandfathering. Prohibits possession of .50 caliber or greater ammunition. Automatically declares anything that was given an exemption from the destructive device category to be destructive device, effectively, just prohibiting the ammunition. Probably the guns later. 11 round or greater detachable magazines effectively outlawed except if it's a .22 caliber rimfire gun. Semi-automatic pistols cannot have box magazines outside of the pistol grip. Doesn't really affect whether or not they're more deadly. Handguns with a magazine in the grip are much more useful, but this does have the effect of making it to where if you need to have a magazine holding a cartridge that's longer than what you can fit into this space, aka rifle cartridge-based pistols, or my favorite thing, 2-inch shotgun shell-based pistols that you can legally own, and you're better off just making one. I was designing one. But anyway, you can't have a box magazine outside the pistol grip, which means you cannot have, effectively, a pistol that can fire anything other than pistol rounds. Pistol rounds are limited by the case length. Oh, and by the way, this doesn't exempt, or does it, me using green gas propane propellant to drive a projectile itself that's that long at rifle speeds, because I'm just going to build that instead. Let's continue. Yes, it looks like a paintball gun, and it wouldn't be regulated like a pistol, and it would be a .68 caliber. Anything tactical, basically, is outlawed. Semi-automatic rifles cannot have box magazines if they have any of the tactical characteristics. And I say that as an insult about people putting useless doodads on a rifle of any kind, break action or anything. It just seems stupid. But I'm the kind of guy who wants to carry a 12-gauge pistol, because I find it annoying that that's outlawed, even though you can load it with something that's less effective at killing people and more effective as a deterrent. It has stopping power without killing people, because you don't load it with anything other than a paintball hard round, but use gunpowder because it's more practical. But anyway, let's move on. Semi-automatic shotguns cannot have more than a 5-round fixed magazine or tube magazine in them. You're basically limited to almost the same level you are for hunting. You cannot have a shotgun box magazine if it's a tactical shotgun. But the semi-automatic one is just a semi-auto. If it's a pump action, it doesn't have any of these limits. Again, let's just say it all together. Your default behavior is a pistol grip shotgun no matter what. Just start from there. You have a break action for firing whatever, and you can put in subcaliber adapters. You want a real pistol, you're going to have a fixed magazine in the handle, in the grip, which is how it normally is. But this would outlaw anything like me making a blackout-based pistol, or inventing a new way of packaging the bullets in a magazine to where you could fit longer cartridges into the gun. They do mention that if it's a fixed magazine, there's no problem as long as it doesn't dangle below if it's a box mag that's removable. So again, we're back to fixed magazines only. So people put on, banana magazines that are like 1.5 feet long or coil in a circle and just weld them in. So they're carrying a 500 round mag or something like that effectively. But hey, if you remove all the tactical, if you make it look like a ranch rifle or something else, if you make it Californicated enough, you can put on 100 round coffin mags, how appropriately named. You get fined $150,000 or lower, or go to prison for 25 years because it's treated like you raped the Pope on camera. I don't know. Anyway, if you do anything that is currently legal, or don't surrender them, because by definition you have to, well, wait a minute. Can you get registrations for these? Yeah. You have to register them as military-style assault weapons because they insist on using the word weapon. This also makes it to where if you have any version of a gun that originally started out, originally by design, to be a fully automatic weapon, even if it's not fully automatic, just because it looks like one, it has to be excluded. So you'd have to get a permit. So basically all of the equipment would be declared, in effect, an NFA item, National Firearms Act item, in effect. It would put it into, this is actually more extreme than California, in many ways. But what's the cost behind it? Well, actually, the funny thing is, this would require you do the following things. The ATF would issue a 3 or 5 year, I can't tell from the writing, it does not mean clear, firearms and ammunition registration license. And that would permit a citizen to possess and loan weapons and ammo. But you'd have to go through a training course, maybe not at your cost. You'd have to have an $800 insurance coverage minimum. You'd have to go through a criminal background check. You'd have to pass a psychiatric evaluation about never having been hospitalized with any mental illness, disturbance, or diagnosis of any kind, or any history or possible interpretation of a history of chronic mental illness, depression, homicidal, or suicidal ideation, attempted suicide, attempted murder, obviously, or an accusation thereof, addiction to controlled substances, alcohol, or having a brain disease, dementia, or Alzheimer's, or any incapacitation in your history, or a past of conduct that endangers self or others, or both. Any incident, you are not permitted to have literally any weapons of any kind. This doesn't mean that you could have any of the tactical stuff. You would just outlaw tactical. And it would place all of it, even though this doesn't change whether or not a ranch rifle with a fixed magazine, because I welded a 100-round coffin mag into the damn thing, it doesn't change whether or not it's really more effective or less effective in a mass shooting that Paddock would have done. But if you have any tactical, basically you have to get rid of tactical. And you can have your detached magazine and they don't care. And if you want a pistol with a ridiculously large cartridge capacity, you just get an extended magazine. Yeah, you're going to find Glock owners that have coffin mags. And then eventually they'll declare that a destructive device even though it isn't. But anything over 50 caliber is by definition any ammunition that is designed to go out of a bore over 50 caliber is illegal. Because it doesn't specify whether it's a rifled barrel or shotgun. So again, we're back to this shit. Oh, what else are they going to do? Oh, after you do all the registration, get the information in there, the database would be accessible, of course, to the people who need to know. Federal and state and local government, and also law enforcement authorities thereof, the U.S. Armed Forces and branches, and the entire population of your country, because it would be open to the public to know that you have a gun and ammunition.